Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we have today, and that is the fact that Capcom has gone ahead and confirmed that they are going to be hosting another brand new digital presentation live event leading up to the release of the third free title update. They basically went ahead and confirmed that Yuki Yamada is once again going to be hosting a live presentation on November 24th at 6 a.m. East Coast time or 3 a.m. West Coast time. If you don't necessarily know who he is, essentially he is a voice actor and an actor for multiple animes, shows, and stuff like that. He's been relatively popular, hosting multiple Capcom live events already for Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and this time around, they are going to be showcasing a bunch of brand new gameplay for the brand new monsters. Subsequently, in a blog update, they went ahead and confirmed that Ryosu Sugimoto, the producer for the Monster Hunter series, will be also making an appearance, and the director Suzuki as well for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So the two big guns essentially that are usually forward facing for the Monster Hunter franchise and Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak will also be part of this digital event commemorating the third free title update. According to their official blog presentation details, they mentioned that Yuki Yamada will be hosting a brand new Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak varied set of challenges at the beginning of the third free title update launch. This will be a live event for everyone. It will be streamed. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for their official YouTube channel, which is, of course, once again, set to be hosted on November 24th at 6 a.m. East Coast time, 3 a.m. West Coast time. They mentioned that the correspondent Yuki Yamada will be hosting the live stream for Sunbreak's online commemorative third free title update event presentation with multiplayer hosted hunts, so essentially players can jump in and become a part of the hunt itself. They also specifically mentioned that Ryosu Sugimoto will be providing some new details, and director Suzuki will be following along as well with some news on his own to share. They also specifically mentioned that a couple of other Capcom TV hosts will be making an appearance there as well. Usually when it comes to the Capcom TV streams, they have plenty of player filled hunts and stuff like that. Whenever they do patch notes and stuff like that, they usually go over things there, and they kind of showcase some weapon changes, some new hunts, some quality of life improvements, things of that nature. So this is something that they're most likely going to be talking about as well, as we still don't necessarily have access to the patch notes, and presumably by then we would. They also mentioned that of course players will be able to join in, and they are going to be having a Twitter campaign. If you already are following the official Japanese Monster Hunter Twitter account, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below of the video for you to be able to do that if you so desire. And viewers will be able to be in the running for winning some of the red metallic amiibos, the Malzeno, the Palico, and the Palamute. Malzeno get geared armor versions of those red metallic amiibos, which of course were never available for purchase. They have only ever been available for people through type of giveaways and stuff like that. So they are gonna essentially ask for players to go ahead and provide a tweet as the live event is actually happening, and that should automatically put you in the running for basically winning some of these red metallic amiibos. Essentially they mentioned that mid-December the winners will be chosen, and you should be able to know if you had a chance to win. Usually when they've done these type of giveaways, I've seen people win them in Europe and stuff like that, so don't necessarily feel discouraged if you live in North America or in Europe to not necessarily participate. I've seen multiple people already mention that they've won some of these in Europe, so you should be able to be in the running at the very least if you happen to just be part of it. Now, one of the things that I did see a couple of people speculate is the fact that they wouldn't necessarily be making a big deal out of this specific presentation if they didn't necessarily have something to show that we don't know about. And that's interesting because for the second free title update, they didn't have one. And for the first free title update, they didn't have one as well. They only had, the last one that they had was for the launch event of the game. So this specific presentation, they're putting a lot of emphasis on. Remember that for the second free title update, they had one of those Capcom TV Plus presentations. And that's where we had Sugimoto tease Flaming Espinas. I covered that in a separate video a while back, but it wasn't necessarily one of these specifically focused presentation events for a free title update. So a lot of people have suggested that perhaps they might have something up their sleeve, something that they haven't necessarily told us about, and they might go ahead and reveal something. Now, of course, we do know of 5 monsters based on the, stuff that people have found in the game's files already. 5 monsters are expected to still be part of the 4th and 5th free title update. But according to the information that we did see on the most recent roadmap, it does tell us that essentially 5 more monsters are going to be part of that specific roadmap. So I don't necessarily, expect them to go ahead and do anything like that, like reveal another monster, like a hidden monster available in this specific patch. I wouldn't necessarily put any money on that, but if they do, of course, that would be a nice addition and a nice welcome ultimately, since this will be happening once again on November 24th, 6 a.m. Pacific East Coast time, 3 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're going to be watching it for sure, I'm certainly going to try to tune in, see what they go ahead and talk about. Usually the developer interviews are something worth paying attention to, see what they actually go ahead and provide us with, any sort of brand new details. And since we haven't necessarily seen Sugimoto speak about Sunbreak since the 2nd free title update, we'll see if they actually confirm any more weapon balance changes or any sort of changes through the curious crafting options for weapons, if they're going to provide any more for different weapons. This has been kind of like an ongoing discussion as well that I've seen multiple people have. If other weapons, kind of like the gun lance, is getting some adjustments, some love in that regard, if other weapons are also going to get some love in the same format, whether it is through this specific free title update or any sort of upcoming ones in the future. So we're just going to have to wait and see regarding what they choose to do with that. But, it's interesting that they're going to be forward-facing once again. Director Suzuki, I recently went over one of the developer interviews that he did with the planner for base Monster Hunter Rise as well. I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you haven't necessarily seen that video, where they basically discuss some of the changes that they had from the 2nd to 3rd free title update and some of the ideas that they were kind of putting together. So they didn't necessarily, of course, reveal anything that we didn't necessarily know about already, but it was interesting to see them kind of like discuss the way they kind of approach the free title updates and how they actually go about, making decisions on what will be added, what gets passed on for the next update, and certainly anything along those lines. So this basically, since then, we haven't necessarily seen Suzuki except the little small Twitter updates. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what he actually has to say. And of course, I recently mentioned that Capcom is taking your feedback after the 3rd free title presentation. They wanted to basically hear what players think. So there is a survey out there for you to be able to fill out. Link in the description below for that as well. If you want to let them know, if you want them to stop the, of course, paid DLC weapons and stuff, if you want to see more monsters, not any more fire monsters or anything like that. That's about all the information that I have for you guys today on November 24th, 6 a.m. East Coast time, 3 a.m. West Coast time. This live presentation should be kicking off for the 3rd free title update. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.